at this stage your mix should be looking something like this. All yellow and stuff. The next stage is to add in your vanilla extract. Now vanilla extract is pretty strong stuff. And because it's so strong, we're going to add 1 teaspoon. Now a word to the wise, even if you like vanilla ice cream, do not drink vanilla extract. Take a sniff of it and it'll tell you why. It is actually quite potent alcohol. Anyway, mix in the vanilla extract very thoroughly into your egg and sugar and butter mix. You don't want to see any patches of darker colour, believe me. And now add in your 4.5 ounces of melted chocolate and beat that in as well. Okay, so I've taken my melted chocolate and added it to the vanilla, butter, egg yolk and sugar mix, and now I'm beating it in. And as you'd expect, the whole mix has changed colour somewhat. Instead of yellow, it's now rather brown. Don't know if you can see that. Okay, so you've got your big mass of liquidy brown stuff in one bowl. Now in the bowl where you put your egg whites, add your half a cup of granulated sugar and mix that until it looks all light and peaky. Okay, so go and find your egg whites and mix in your half a cup of granulated sugar, beat it until it looks light and peaky, and then mix it quarter by quarter into your bowl of brown stuff, and try and leave a little bit of white showing if you can. It might be worth adding that beating the whites into the other brown mix takes a long time to get it all consistent, so be patient with it and keep beating it until there's no trace of that mass white anywhere, just the occasional little wisp. Once you've mixed it all properly, you may be noticing that this mix is starting to get rather runny and doesn't really resemble much of a cake. So now it's time to add a cup of flour and mix it in properly. Okay, now that the flour's been added and thoroughly beaten in, you should have a mix that looks like this and is ready for your oven, which should be preheated to a temperature of 400 degrees Fahrenheit. So, let's take our cake tin, preferably one with a removable bottom to aid with the removal of the cake after it's out of the oven. Pour your mixture into the cake tin and leave it in the oven until you can put a toothpick into the top of the cake and pull it out and it will still be clean. This should take about 3/4 of an hour, which is 45 minutes. Alright then, so our cake's in the oven. Now, while that's baking away, you've probably got some downtime, so it's time to make the glazing to put on the cake when it comes out. Now first of all, we need an apricot glaze, which will go in between the two layers of sponge and once on the top. So, you will take your apricot preserve, and of this apricot preserve you will measure out roughly a cup, and to this cup of apricot preserve you will add 2 tablespoons of your golden rum. And you will of course mix it very thoroughly. And this concludes production of your apricot glaze. Very simple.
Boom. Blah.
Okay, once your cake comes out of the oven, you should have something that looks sort of like a sponge. But it's probably risen in the oven and has an uneven top. So take a serrated knife and slice the uneven top off of it. You may eat this if you like. Next, you slice your cake in half, and on the top of the bottom layer you take your apricot glaze and you've put a layer over it. You then replace the top of the cake onto the top of the glazed bottom layer. Once you've glazed the cake with your apricot, let it cool until this glaze has set. Then apply 6 ounces of melted chocolate over the top of the cake. And once your chocolate has also set, you will take your cream and apply it over the top of the cake to produce your end result. This is Sacher Torte. Now Owl has to make a video blog. So what do you think of the cake then, Brianna?
That looks yummy. I think you've kicked Owl's butt.
Yeah, she said it. So come on Owl, you owe us a video blog. This was Cooking with Awesome, producing Sacher Torte.
Nerd fighters everywhere, tuck in.